Excited to have you join us for part three of Do Not Be Deceived. Excited to have you tune in to part one of Don't Be Deceived.
Colossians 2:15 again, when it says triumphing over them, that last part, the Greek word here translates to make an acclamatory procession. And y'all know I don't know what that means. So I love dictionary.com and thesaurus and bible.com so I can look all these words up. I ain't that smart, y'all. Don't get it twisted. You can get the same access I get. Bible.com, thesaurus.com, blueletterbible.com, all the references to all these were greekbible.com, hebrewbible.com. Internet's a fabulous thing. It says acclamatory procession. It refers to how the Romans had a triumphant procession. When they defeated an army, they'd have this big show. And here's what they would do. Acclamatory, when you look it up, it means an expressive, enthusiastic procession. So we have to be able to see this in our minds so we can get understanding of what happened after Jesus defeated the enemy. When I was reading this, I started getting charged up. It reminded me just how awesome I am because God's in me. It reminded me just how powerful I am. So will stuff come at me? Oh, absolutely. But I'm charged now because I know who I am. Going into this thing, you have to be charged up to know who you are. But think about it. When there's a war and somebody takes the victory, somebody takes over a city, what they do is hold a parade in honor of the victory. The next thing they would do is they would strip the conquered king naked and then take him through the city around the people for the people who conquered and also anybody that was subject to him. And they would just parade him around the crowd for everybody to see him stripped naked. No, think about it, this is a king who was royal, commanded stuff. They stripped him naked and then walked him through the city. They would cut his thumbs off so he could never hold another sword. They cut his toes off so he couldn't walk. So if there ever was a rumor that somebody was coming to take over, they know it was a joke because the brother can't do nothing. So if somebody said, well, so-and-so's coming, whatever. How they coming, on a horse? Because you know they can't walk. You know they can't run. So I'm supposed to be scared? It was to give them the perspective that they had not only got the victory, but they had demolished them as a threat to ever come bother them again. Then they would make sure everyone in the city saw this. So everybody be on one accord and know that this victory was true and it wasn't going anywhere. It was a lasting victory. When you think about it, that's the same thing that God did to the devil. He stripped him of everything that he had and then put it in such a way for the people to know if they ever heard he was on the prowl against them. He was defeated 2,000 years ago. You got to get to the place where you can just remind yourself that. When something, 2,000 years ago, that was handled. And you can see that's not cocky, but that's being confident in who he says you are. When a situation comes, a storm comes, drama comes, what's your first response? Oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do. It's always me. This stuff keeps happening to me. I got a call this week from someone. How you doing? Sometimes you don't need to ask that. Well, I'm like, I just can't get it free. Every time I turn around, I'm going through, and then this happened, and I'm sitting on the phone like, hey, Lord, can I get an interjection? He says, just listen. She'll give you a doorway. So I just listened, and I listened. And I'm like, Lord, just be patient, Keisha. And I listened. And finally she got to the end, and she said, I just don't even know what to expect anymore. I was like, ding, 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 ding. The same thing you've been getting. Why are you going to say that? Because what else you talking about? She won't happy for a minute. But don't call me if you want the truth. She call. I ain't call her. I was sitting in my car minding my own business. And she sat there and she said, well, that ain't right. Well, it just ain't fair. I'm like, well, sweetie, life ain't fair. But what you going to do about it? You want something different, you got to expect something different. Well, every time I do something different, shut up is the first thing you need to do. Because you need to put a watch on your own mouth, baby. Can you hear yourself? You done disgusted me in about 20 minutes, and I can't take no more. Just hush when you don't know what else to say. What's the song? When you done all you know how to do, stand. When you don't know what else to say, shut up. I'm like, do you hear what you're giving the enemy every bit of fuel he needs to take your stuff. You're telling him all your weak areas. You're just giving him every bit of power. Well, I don't. I'm like, you know what? Can I just be truthful? This is a friend of mine, so I don't treat everybody like that. This is a friend. We go back, and I finally said, well, you know what? When you're ready to do something different and get some different results, call me back. Until then, I'm going to pray for your mind to be enlightened, for you to walk into revelation, and for you to just get tired. Because you ain't tired yet, baby. You ain't tired. When you get tired for real, call me back. But until then, this is on me, baby. Don't even call me with more of this. You filled your quantity up today. Love you. But you need people in your life that tell you the truth. I got people in my life who talk to me like that. And when I need to be corrected and I'm out of line, everybody needs somebody to check them. My husband checks me regularly. Do I like it? Never at the moment. But after I cool down and it flows over, I recognize the wisdom of it. But I'm thankful for that because I need that. Pastor needs. I know First Lady check him. I ain't in that house. But you tell me, when you have as much zest and zeal for the things of God that we have, sometimes you get to going so fast that you check, sit down. I can imagine. I ain't in that house, but I know what happens. Because everybody needs somebody that you can trust. And if you're not married, find somebody. Because what's happening is you're giving the enemy power. Because you ain't getting checked. And it needs to be somebody that you love and that you know loves you. Don't know where that came from, but that was for somebody because that wasn't in my notes. Did you miss the parade? Jesus not only beat the devil, but he had a triumphant procession to display the devil to the universe as a totally conquered foe. He should never terrify us again. Unfortunately, many Christians miss the parade. They ain't see it. They sure ain't heard it. And if it requires them breaking open this book, if they don't make it into a full-feature film, the Passion of the Christ is the best y'all gonna get. You ain't seen a parade. The fact that you haven't seen the parade, the fact that you don't know the parade happened, is the fact that the enemy keeps parading around your life and just demolishing things that he should not even have permission to be in. Yes, Satan is still alive, and we do have to deal with him. I'm not saying evil ain't real. I'm not saying attacks don't come. I'm not saying, but the word told us that many are the afflictions. That is, many are the afflictions, and afflictions aren't just sickness. When your money is not right, that's an affliction. When your kids acting crazy, that's an affliction. When your car won't start, y'all, that's an affliction. And here's the thing. Instead of us just looking at that, we done gave credit to the devil. The devil done messed with my car. I got 2 flat tires. The devil is a lie. How about you just ain't put new tires on the car since you got it, and the ones you got wires sticking out the sides? Why the devil get credit? I know when I used to get a flat tire, it's because I ain't had no money to buy no new tires. It was not the devil. When I ain't have no money, it wasn't the devil. I had spent it. That is not the devil, people. Every time your spouse act crazy, stop giving it to the devil. You act crazy too. Revelations 12:1. It says, no, but Satan is still alive and we do have to deal with him. And we're going to talk about that this month. There are ways that you still have to deal with the lies. Because all of us have believed some lies. And the whole goal of walking out this thing with Christ, the closer we get to him, the less lies we believe. We're all in the process of discovery of things that we bought as truth that ain't truth. So nobody's arrived. We're all on this thing together. But it said he's alive and we do have to deal with him, but only because he has so many lies circulating about his power against us. That's what we got to deal with. Warfare in here on Sundays is because we got a congregation of people who bought a different set of lies. And here pastor's trying to preach the word and teach the word, and he's having to get through the walls of lies. You can't even get to the truth. It takes the first 15 minutes to start penetrating. So then by the time he's there, y'all tired. Because you're behind, your heart and head can't take any more than your bottom can handle. So when he's ready, he done penetrated, you're like, oh, it's what, 12:20, Pastor? He's sweating, Gatorading and juicing just to get there. So when he gets your attention, y'all start shutting down. He look out and y'all sleep. Revelation 12:10 says, and the devil that deceived them was cast into a lake of fire and brimstone. It didn't say the devil that overpowered them. It doesn't say the devil that just took everything from them, the devil that destroyed them. It says the devil that deceived them. Wow, that ought to let us know that's his job. We come here on Sundays and Wednesdays and read the word and fill up on the word to get through the deception. So that you don't fall into the traps. Because they're set for us. And here's the thing. He don't have to deceive me or try to set me up with the temptation of robbing the bank. Because I just ain't trying to do jail. That's not a temptation to me. But let somebody cut me off on the highway. I have to start reminding myself who I am. That ain't everybody. That is not my husband's thing, y'all. Don't bother him. He's like, God bless you. And I'm like, my natural fleshly desire. So that may not be your thing. Your thing may not be chicken and cake or crack or liquor. But he'll use some device to try to deceive you. Grass might look green over there, but it's still got to be mowed. And what you can't see is that there's all kinds of stuff growing in the grass that's infectious. So you don't see it all pretty on the top, but you still got to cut that grass too. I have women jumping from man to man. Look, hold on, one about all I am. Because that's a lot, that's maintenance. I heard a whole lot of amens on the back. Marriage is maintenance. For anybody trying to just run out and get married. It's a beautiful thing. And it's an awesome thing. But it's a working thing. All of his power lies in the lies. All of his power lies in the lies. If you don't take anything away today, hold on to that. Every bit of his power lies in the lies. However many lies he can get you to buy into, that's how much power he can operate in your life. Satan uses the power and authority that our misdirected faith gives him. Whatever you give him, wherever you're pointing him, whatever you make available is what he uses against you. What's our defense? I said earlier, demons are real and they are not all in Africa. And I'm going to be honest, and I'm not trying to scare anybody up in here, but I've laid hands on folk, and I've been in situations, and I had to make sure I was grounded and right because I knew what I was dealing with. I knew what I was dealing with. I've seen demons come out of folk. I've watched that. That ain't just the crazy movies and I've seen that stuff. That stuff is real. I've seen folks cough up stuff, and I've seen the convulsions and the shaking. A lot of people think that stuff. I remember as a child, someone told me, like you would watch the Benny Hinn Crusades, that all that was faking, and everybody. I remember hearing that as a child. So I think a part of me, even growing up, thinking, yeah, that could be. I don't believe it, But it ain't till you done encountered them. They're real.
I hope you've enjoyed today's lesson. Join us next week, same place, same time. And until then,
may the fire on your altar never burn out.